Hi, welcome to the Sheetly Studio Lab channel. In this video, I'm going to show you, step by step, how to use the Simple Budget Planner. In this video, I'll be using Google Sheets for the tutorial, but the Excel version works almost the same way. First, duplicate your budget tab by right-clicking on it and selecting Duplicate. After you duplicate it, change the name by double-clicking on your budget tab. You can also click the little arrow on the tab and choose Rename. For example, I'm going to rename it to December 2025, but you can change the name to whatever you like. Okay, now let's go to the Setup section in the overview. First, choose the start date for your budget. Right now, it's still set to November 1st, and on the left side it still shows November. If I change this to December 1st, 2025, the month on the left will automatically update to December, following your start date. And on the right side, set the end date for your budget. For example, I'll set it to the end of December 2025. Over here, it will automatically count down how many days you have left in your budget period. And for the currency, you can change it to whatever you like. For example, I'm going to change it to the euro symbol. So the currency symbol in all the formulas will automatically change. Okay, I'm going to switch it back to the dollar sign. Okay, in the Your Name field, type your name in this cell. For example, I'll type Josephine. You'll see that this part over here will automatically update to show the name you entered. And in this Start Balance field, enter the leftover budget from before or from last month. For example, I'll type 500. Then, this section over here will automatically update the calculations for you. Okay, now let's move to the Categories table to fill in your budget amounts for each category. Okay, in the Income table, fill in your income category here, for example, Paycheck. Then in Expected, I'll put 500, and in Actual Income, I'll also enter 500. Okay, for the second income, as an example, I'll enter Side Hustle, with 350 in Expected and 350 in Actual. Okay, for the third income, I'll add Paycheck again, with 2,500 in Expected and 2,500 in Actual. Okay, now I'm moving to the Bills tracker. For example, for the electricity category, fill in the due date in the due column. Then in budget, I'll enter 120, and in Actual, let's say I put 100. Disclaimer: please do not edit or delete any colored cells or any cells that are already filled in, because they contain formulas and you could break your template. Okay, I'm going to speed up this part and fill in the rest of the rows. Okay, in the Progress column you can see how you are doing. If you go over your budget, it will automatically change the formatting and the number will turn red. Okay, now let's move to the Expense category section. For the category, I'm going to enter groceries, and for the budget, I'll put 450. And for the Actual column, please do not edit or delete anything there, because it contains formulas and you could break the sheet. Okay, I'm going to speed up this part and fill in the rest of the rows. Okay, now let's move to the Debt tracker. For the category, I'll enter Mortgage. For the due date, I'll set it to the 5th. Then for budget, I'll put 1,200, and for Actual, I'll enter 1,100. Okay, I'll speed through the rest of the entries for the Debt tracker. Okay, now let's move to the Savings table. For the category, I'll enter Emergency Fund. In Expected, I'll put 300, and in Actual, I'll also enter 300. Okay, I'll speed through the rest of the Savings table. Okay, now let's move to the Dashboard section. In this area, you can choose to view either Actual or Budget in both the Allocation Summary and the Income and Expenses sections. For example, here I'm changing it from the Actual Allocation Summary to the Budget Allocation Summary. Now you can see your budget for each spending category. And you can also switch between Actual and Budget for your total income and expenses. Okay, let's move to the breakdown section. Here, you can choose which category you want to see. For example, bills. It looks empty right now, so let's take a look at the bills table. If you tick this checkbox, the chart will automatically update based on the items you selected. The same goes for the debt tracker. Your debt totals will automatically be calculated when you tick this checkbox. And it's the same in the savings table. Your savings will be calculated automatically when you tick this checkbox, and you'll see your total show up in this chart after you select it. And for your expenses, you can track them in the expense tracker table below. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, first select the date, for example, December 5th. For the amount, I'll enter $250. For the category, you can either click the drop-down or type your expense category, for example, groceries. Let's scroll back up, and you can see that the actual amount for groceries is now calculated automatically, and you can also see the progress of your budget. Okay, let me add another expense in the expense tracker. For the date, I'll choose December 6th. For the amount, I'll enter 100, and for the category, I'll select fuel. You can see that the fuel expense is calculated automatically. Okay, now let's move to the dashboard below. On this dashboard, you can see all of your spending across every category. Okay, let me show you a pro tip to help you save time when setting up your budget. Before you duplicate this budget tab, set everything up properly first, so you don't have to spend a lot of time every time you start a new budget period. First, go to the setup table, then clear the start date and end date of your budget. Then, set the currency to the one you are currently using, and fill in your name as well. For example, I'll use the name Josephine, and I'll leave the start balance empty. And for the category, enter Paycheck, and in the expected column type 2,500. For the actual column, I'll leave it blank. Okay, I'll speed through the rest of this part. Okay, now I'm moving to the bills category in the bills tracker. In the category column, I'll enter electricity. For the due date, I'll set it to the 1st. For budget, I'll enter 120, and I'll leave the actual column empty. Disclaimer: only fill in the category, expected or budget, and due columns, and leave all the other columns blank. Okay, I'll speed through the final results. After you've filled in the category, due, and budget columns, click the arrow on your budget tab at the bottom, then click Duplicate. Then rename your new budget tab to whatever name you want. Now you just need to set your start date and end date. For example, I'll set the start date to January 1st, 2026, and the end date to January 31st. Okay, your budget is now ready to use. Okay, now let's move to the Goal Tracker tab. On the Goal Tracker, you should only type in the white or blank cells. Please do not edit or delete any colored cells, because they contain formulas and you could break the template. Okay, first set your currency in this cell above. For example, I'll change it to the euro symbol, and all the currency in this sheet will automatically update to match the symbol you choose. I'll switch it back to the dollar sign. Okay, now I'm moving to the savings setup section. In the fund name column, I'll add home. For the goal, I'll enter 2,000, and make sure you also fill in the monthly goal so you can see or estimate when you'll reach your savings target. For example, I'll enter 200. Here you can see how many months are left until you reach your savings goal, and the estimated date you'll get there. And for the starting amount, you can see the progress is at 0% right now. So, for example, I'll set my starting savings to 100. So now you can see your savings dashboard down here update automatically. And this dashboard follows the same order as your savings setup. And on the left side here, this is the transaction tracker. Before I explain the transaction tracker, let's scroll down to the debt setup first. In the debt section, I'll enter the debt name, for example, car loan. For the initial balance, I'll put $21,000. For monthly pay, I'll enter $350, and for start payment, I'll enter $1,000. As you can see, this is a simulation that shows how many months are left until your debt is paid off, and in which month and year that will happen. Okay, now let's move to the transaction tracker section. For example, in the date column, I'll enter December 18th. In the category column, I'll type home, and in the amount column, I'll enter $400. As you can see, the saved column is calculated automatically. The progress is now 25%, and there are 8 months left. Okay, in the transaction tracker, I'll add another entry. For the date, I'll choose December 19th, and for the category, I'll enter car loan. As you can see, the category turns red because this is a debt category, and for the amount, I'll enter $500. Let's scroll down to the debt setup. As you can see, the paid column is calculated automatically, and you can also see your debt dashboard down here. Okay, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope this simple budget planner helps you manage your money more easily. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message. If you found this video helpful, you can support this channel by liking the video and subscribing to Sheetly Studio Lab for more templates and tutorials. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next video.